And now we have the last section. So gods that you would want to either be in relationships with or just be friends with, just generally hang out with, just be friends with. Nuar is first up, and she's pretty resourceful. You know, she took a giant tortoise's foot or leg and used that to hold up heaven when one of the pillars that hold up the heavens was a bit compromised. She does demand respect, but generally she seems like a nice person to be around. Nike, you would never, ever, ever lose. Ever, if she's on your team. Just any match, you could literally go from bronze to grandmaster with Nike there at your side. Incredible. Thing is though, if you ever decided to challenge her, no matter what, I'm assuming even if this is some sort of relationship argument, anything, she just wins. She wins everything. She's a god of victory. There's no winning against her. You have to be with her or lose. It's that simple. She can get any job proposal she wants because she always wins. She can always be first or just get the best seats in the house, do anything. She always wins. And yeah, I'm repeating myself at this point. Nike. Also, she doesn't seem like a completely awful person to be around, unlike some of the other gods. And she knows her way around a fight, which is kind of cool. Then we have Artemis. She naturally loves nature and animals, so that could be a plus for you. Also, she's one of the most respected deities in Greek mythology. She's a virgin, which could be a thing to consider if you're dating her, and of course, you probably would have to swear off some kinds of meat, maybe go vegetarian or vegan, but aside from that, not a bad deal. Of course, there was that little bird incident that I went over in Athena's video, so that might be something to consider. Don't get on her bad side, and perhaps that's even a good argument as to why she should be in the in-between section. But she's here now, and like a lot of things, I'm not changing it. Then we have Xbalanque. Xbalanque is very, very resourceful and tactful. He showed this when he reattached Hunapu's head with, what was it, a pumpkin I believe it was? I think it was a pumpkin. Is pretty good with a blowgun, which may be useful from time to time. And he's got a bunch of magical powers, like, for example, he turned Hunbutt into a monkey. So he could turn your enemies into a monkey, or defeat the gods of Xibalba, if you ever needed that for some reason. If you ever went to hell, he could get you out, I suppose. He's been there once, he can do it again. So yeah, Xbalanque, pretty useful person to know. Then we have Terra, who... There is the slight downside to Terra of having to go vegan or vegetarian because she doesn't like it when you attack or consume wildlife. But aside from that, who would not want to be friends with the Earth? It's like the safest thing you could be friends with, I'm guessing. Which, Geb's here, because who wouldn't want to be friends with a giant rock? No? No? Anyone ever had a pet rock collection? It wouldn't be weird to have a... Would it be weird to have a giant talking pebble man, rock man, stone man, boulder man? As a friend though, really? Like, I don't know, I think that would be pretty cool. And also, he could prevent earthquakes. Unless the very act of him moving would cause earthquakes. Pretty easy for Terra and Geb to cause earthquakes, so might want to be careful around them, which is also another added downside, but aside from that, seems like pretty okay. Sun Wukong, I feel like I made a bit of a mistake. He should be in the middle section. Because Sun Wukong developed a bit of a god complex throughout his story. But aside from his arrogance, he's got so many skills. He's got 72 transformations, and he can multiply himself. So he's got kind of a less useful version of what made the Morrigan so useful. I'm sure he could show off a bunch of entertaining magic tricks, which I'm sure most of the gods have, like, abilities which they could just play off as just pure magic, but Sun Wukong could be pretty interesting to watch. Also, who wouldn't want to be friends with a king of monkeys? That just sounds like a really cool time. So, there's that. Next up we have Freya, who's arguably the strongest female deity in Smite. That's a debate for another time, but there's that. She's also a real party animal, apparently, and is no stranger to getting just really, really, really drunk. So she sounds like she knows how to have fun. And she knows a lot of magic and spells. She's the goddess of gold, fertility, and capable of giving Aphrodite a run for her money in terms of beauty. So, yeah, all of those things combined, why wouldn't you want to hang out with Freya? He's like a better version of Aphrodite. Then we have Kumbhakarna. Kumbhakarna likes to sleep, and he respects sleep. I can respect that. He was actually interested in philosophy. He didn't exactly enjoy fighting, and could be considered one of the stronger gods, who only recently I started regretting not including him in the Summon Gong video. But yeah, Kumbhakana, he's really not that bad of a guy, if you give him a chance. Because he is a giant, which is a bit impractical. But if you can get around that, come on. Loki, enough said. Like, there is no problem whatsoever to having Loki as, well, anything that we've mentioned as far as this video is concerned. So, yeah. What? Don't give me that disgusted look that everyone gives me just before they're about to hit the dislike button. Seriously, Loki is like a more fun version of the Morrigan that probably wouldn't try to kill you. Intentionally. Or directly. I mean, come on. He can turn invisible. He can change his gender. He can turn into a horse. Or, I'm assuming, most, if not any animal, right? He's considered to be a deity of fire, so he's got all of the benefits of the previous fire gods that I may or may not have mentioned in a video that I may or may not have posted yet, but if I haven't posted that video, then I'll just go over the benefits of having the fire god at your disposal. If you need to cook food, boom, fire god. If it's cold and you need to put another log in the fireplace and you need to heat yourself up, boom, fire god. If you need a torch, boom, fire god. Point is, fire is very useful, and having an on-hand fire god is pretty damn nice. Now, I know what you're thinking. Loki screwed up everything in Norse mythology, pretty much, and was the cause of Ragnarok, which was the beginning of the end for the Norse gods. To that I say, do you really think Loki was a boring person to have around? Seriously. Like, the Morrigan seems like she'd just be super depressing, which is why she's not here, but Loki? No. I had to put Loki here. That was just, it would have been inhumane for me to have not included Loki here. And this is not just motivated by the fact that Loki is one of the first gods that I got to Mastery X, and he's pretty much my favorite god. I assure you, there is no personal bias here whatsoever. It's legit reasons and legit reasons only. Assuming that he doesn't get you killed in the process, which is only a minor downside, if you just look past that tiny detail, Loki's amazing. And I'm glad that you can now see that. Let's move on to the next god. Now we have Skadi, Fenrir, and Anubis. And all three of these gods are here without question. There is no reason as to why they shouldn't be, and it would be ungodly and just insane for me to not put them in the best section. Why wouldn't you want to have Fenrir, for example, as a pet, a friend, or a pet, a friend? Why not? Who hates dogs? No one can hate dogs. They're dogs. No one can hate dogs. Okay, Skadi's not a dog, but she loves dogs, so that's a plus, and she just gets it. Okay, Skadi might have a bit of a temper if you upset her. Fenrir, also, the Norse gods were having a real trouble with Fenrir's size, but just ask Tyr how much of a joy it was to raise Fenrir. Might be prophesied to consume the entire world, and Anubis, his main job is centered around death. But dogs. Dogs. Like, enough said. Ula's here for pretty similar reasons to Chiron. Really, I should put Ula with Chiron. I mean, they're here pretty much for the same reason, except I'm not sure if Ul could heal you. But he could teach you skiing. He's a great skier. He's good at archery, upholds honor, and has just a bunch of talents and skills that you might find useful. So, that's that. Wheelix in-game just has a really bubbly personality and genuinely seems like a nice person. Like, that's valuable. That's really valuable in and of itself, especially for a god, a deity. Yeah, being a nice person just seems like a massive plus. Also, if you ever need a torch or a light of some kind, she's the deity of the moons. She can give you moonlight. And also, she might be able to allow you to Patsuku without having your hand removed. So, there's that. Then we have Kronos, who, regardless of his personality, regardless of how good of a person he would be to live with or to have as a friend, forget any of that. Kronos has the very unique talent of being able to change any event, any past event, any regret that you may have had, anything that bad, anything terrible that happened to you in your life. Remove it completely from history. And if you learnt any sort of useful, valuable lesson from that event, he could help to change it and still allow you to still have the same lesson that you might be thankful for having, but still possibly remove the whole badness of the event. And because he's the Lord of Time, he's got infinite tries of this. He can just infinitely rewrite time until he gets it right. So that way, you're still the same person that you were when you became friends with Kronos, meaning that there's no downside for Kronos for doing this, and you're happier. So, massive plus there. I'm failing to see what a downside. I mean, oh sure, Kronos is getting a lot less than you are, but still. I think I could say that about a lot of gods on this list, to be honest. But hey, maybe I'm wrong about that. I forgot to put Cuchulainn on my list of notes. And next up is Hercules. So I suppose I put them in the same category because they are very similar gods. Only thing about Cuchulainn that might not mesh too well with Hercules is that Hercules wasn't exactly the most intelligent god, and I'm not sure how intelligent Cuchulainn was. So there's that. But aside from that, also, Cuchulainn seems like he's a bit more upbeat than Hercules. Hercules seems like he might be a bit depressed. Might being the operative word there. Just before his death, Hercules was pretty merry and celebrating at some sort of party, so you know. But aside from that, monster strength could be fairly useful from time to time. You know, if someone's trapped somewhere, well, he could save you from a burning building, just like that. Or, you know, if a building's going to collapse, Cuchulainn's said to be able to have lifted up an entire building, and Hercules is able to hold up the sky, so yeah, can save you from a quite diverse range of situations. Which also leads to the fact that the two have very straightforward and unique, specific to them, ways of solving problems. So that might be fun. By unique, I mean through their strength. So, last up, we have Giannis. And first and foremost, his voice is a massive plus. Having a portal when you're really late for work or school or whatever, having a portal just be made for you that you can just step through and just be on time instantly, just amazing. It means that you could sleep for a lot longer with no consequences. You'd pretty much never be late for anything, which I suppose is also a plus for Kronos actually. With Kronos you'd never be late for anything either, because he could just stop time, wait for you to travel the distance, and boom. But Giannis could get you there in seconds, so there's that. Also, he's supposed to be one of, if not the most important and powerful deities in Roman mythology. Which is another reason why he's just another god that I regret not putting in the Sun Wukong video. But that's my list. You've made it to the end of the video, and hopefully it wasn't an hour long. If you enjoyed, go ahead and leave a like. If you like this kind of video, you think that some gods I was wrong in my placement, I know that cat lovers aren't going to be the biggest fans of my Bastet placement, for example. Feel free to tell me how you'd think you'd order these gods in the comment section below. Till the next video though, have a very, very, very good day. I've been Prime, and I'll see you in a few. Bye bye.